Welcome to this edition of the Volling Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my co-host, Swanny. And tonight we're joined by Matt from the Prairie Report for the Oklahoma Sooners. Buddy, we're glad to have you. This kind of started with a little bit of Twitter back and forth. And I was like, I keep receipts. I'm welcome to have. You're welcome to jump on with us. So glad you're here, man.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
So
appreciate it,
man. We're going to talk a little bit about this upcoming game this weekend, man. It's kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say.
Oh yeah.
You guys are coming in 3-0, wins over Temple, Houston, and Tulane. What's your thoughts on those three so far?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I could sum it up to one word, and that's ouch. Definitely not the way we thought we were going to be starting our year. But, sometimes you just got to win, and we've done that. So, I guess you got to be happy with it at the end of the day. But, definitely room to improve everywhere.
Right. I mean, that first game, man, I caught most of that first game because it was, I want to say you guys played on Friday night in that one, right?
Yeah. First Friday night game, I want to say, in Oklahoma history.
Yeah. So, I mean, I caught that one. It was Temple. You guys looked pretty smooth. I mean, you did what you should have done to that team. You really did. I mean, that's how you beat a team like that.
Fair.
Then,
the only thing I can really take away from that game is just we were horrible on third down. But
right.
Yeah.
Then you go on to the next week. You got Houston. I seen the line on that one. It come out, wasn't it like 16.5 or so, somewhere in there? Yeah. And I was like, that's pretty big because Houston, I mean, they're not a good team. They're not a great team this year, not a good team. They're not what they have been. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I'll take those points. I still expected you guys to handle business, though. What was your we were just kind of talking about that. You want to walk us through that one again?
Well, the big thing I think for me that stuck out was, the week before Brent was making comments in the press conference about, holding back a little bit against Temple because it's Temple. The last thing you can do is make those kind of comments and then come out the next week and be as flat, as unexcited, and as vanilla as that offense was the entire game. And, I know we had a little bit of a conversation before about, sandbagging and whether or not that was kind of the approach. And it just seemed like it. It looked like it. It made a lot of people angry. Obviously, Willie Fritz is a heck of a coach, and, Willie Fritz coach team is always going to be ready to play. That any Oklahoma fan can definitely concur with. Lincoln Riley will be the first one to tell you that's definitely something that you got to look out for when you see Willie Fritz's teams on your schedule. And to not open anything up in that game was just kind of despicable, honestly, and made me sick having to watch that game. But like I said, winning is winning, and sometimes that's all you got to do. Luckily enough. We weren't the only team that looked absolutely sluggish that week across college football, but, this is Oklahoma. There's no excuses like that. That's not okay. It's not acceptable. And, just shouldn't have happened. So
I kind of liken that game to 2016 for us for Tennessee, whenever we opened up with Appy State on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
That game had no business being close, and we had to beat them in overtime.
Yeah.
It happens. It's college football. It is what it is. But Houston also, that's kind of a bit of a game. I mean, to them, and maybe not to you guys, you know what I'm saying, but to them, that's a game. But I was surprised. I was like, they're only going to sneak out of there it ended up being what, 18-14?
16-14.
16-12, whatever. Yeah. It was close. I was like, okay. So then this past weekend, you guys had Tulane. Tulane, for whatever reason, always plays you guys close, though. Seems like.
Well, Recently, yeah. I can't put the last time that we played on Brent, excuse me, but I got plenty to say about Tebow and the way that game went. But yeah, like I said, Willie Fritz, he built that Tulane program. Pretty good team. I mean, they've won just south of 25 games the last couple of years, and there's a reason behind that. Beat USC in a big New Year's Six game. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be sluggish against those kind of teams. And we didn't look our best, but eventually we pulled out the win. And sometimes again, that's all you got to do. So
That's it, buddy. It don't matter how you do it. Just make sure you get that dub. So,
absolutely.
but okay, so let's talk. Let's get on to. I think we've caught up with you guys. You know what we've done? We've boat raced 3 teams basically.
Oh yeah.
And I hate to put it that way, but I mean that's what's happened. So I was looking. I'm a bit of a gambler. Earlier in the week, it opened up at 3.5. Vols favored. Just before the season started, though, you guys were favored by 3.5.
Oh yeah.
Then this week, it opens up at 3.5. Vols favored, jumped to 6.5, then 7.5. Now tonight, as we're recording this, it's down to 6.5.
Right.
I don't know that Vegas knows what to think about this game, honestly.
I mean, like I said, it could really go either way. There's a lot to be said about whether or not we've been sandbagging or not. It's not looked great. We've held a lot of guys out. We're trying to get guys healthy on the offensive line. We're trying to find the right guys on the offensive line, which you can't do when you're not healthy. And
Right.
then, Tennessee, y'all played, it doesn't look like y'all really broken a sweat yet. I mean,
right.
Coming into this game now, compared to where I was this summer, I was looking at the way that your defensive backs played last year, looking at my chops, and then seeing the way that y'all been applying pressure in your front seven and going, well, when you can get that kind of pressure with your front seven, do you really need to have that great of defensive backs? So,
right.
It's just been a non-factor. And then, you guys have, y'all shut out 2 teams or, just damn near about shut out 2 teams. I don't know. I mean, y'all just kind of walk through your schedule pretty much so far to us.
Well, UTC, Kent State, we kind of expected that. I didn't expect us to cover the spread in the first quarter against Kent State, but we did. Then UTC, they just come out and did their thing from the get-go. NC State, I kind of when we done the season preview for it and all that, I kind of was like, I don't think this is going to be a game after midway through the third quarter. I just didn't. I didn't understand why everybody was saying, hey, this is a game you guys got to watch out for. You're going to lose,
Yeah.
And
I'll stick my hand up and say I was one of them.
though, the thing about it was, yeah, he was. And it was just one of those things, though. I was just like, they weren't that great last year. I understand they've got a good defense, but they look pretty pedestrian against us.
Yeah.
I think that might end up being the case for a lot of teams this year, though.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know.
I think a lot of people pointed to Grayson McCall joining up, thinking, they'd be a contender with their defense, and a lot of people thought that NC State would be a contender in the ACC, and the ACC has just looked horrible up to this
point. They
point.
might be a contender in the ACC, yeah.
Yeah, they still might be. You're right.
They might win it.
Yeah, but again, just speaking to the fact that the ACC, the top half of that ACC, has just looked horrific. I mean, you look at Florida State.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say, I think the 3 of us can rejoice in the fact that neither of the 3 of us are Florida State fans.
Oh God, listen, hey, you're talking about Florida State's daddy right here. Okay, I'm just saying.
Hey, they know it.
Mm-hmm.
The Criminals, Florida State Criminals.
I like
so free shoes, you baby. All right, man. So let's talk a little bit about your Sooners, though. Coming into this one, you guys are averaging 33.7 points a game, pretty dang good. You're scoring at a good clip, at least. Yeah. 166 passing per game, 159 rushing. To me, the number on the rushing game, though, that gets me is you're getting 4.3 a carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a damn solid good clip. right
staying
there.
Staying ahead of the chains. So
yes, and you guys are getting 325 a game. What kind of surprised me though was Jackson Arnold's leading the team in rushing.
oh yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, honestly, up until a few days ago, I didn't realize that either. And again, you just kind of point to that offensive line. It's been really tough sledding for the offensive line so far. So
That's the quarterback running is about the only way you can mask a mediocre to above average offensive line, and that's not what I'm saying you got. But if that's a problem, that's about the only way you can mask it. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah. Hey, look, right now, like I said, we've been dealing with a lot of injuries. We've been dealing with shuffling guys around, trying to find the right 5 guys to fit that. I saw a tweet the other day. A guy was posting all the matchups or all the lineups we had for our offensive line this year, and there was one name in every single line that was on every single line, and that was Fabici Nwewu. And if you asked me in the preseason who the guy that was going to, separate himself as being one of the guys 3 games into the season, that's not who I would have chosen. That's not the guy that I would have guessed. I would have said, if you're talking about, Branson Hickman, or if you're talking about Jake Taylor, maybe. Maybe Josh Bates. But Fabici Nwewu has come in, and he's the only guy that's shown that he's, capable of playing at that level right now. And it's shown in the time that he's gotten, and the respect that he's gotten, and the fact that he's gone out there with every single offensive line, every offensive mix that we've tried to get to go. And, being 3 games in the season, getting into a 3-game stretch where you're playing Tennessee and Texas is not a promising thing to have happen.
Right.
Would you not have picked him to be the guy because you didn't know how to pronounce his name?
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, no. 100%.
Did you have to learn? Did you have to learn that over the last 3 games how to pronounce that?
Oh yeah, dude. I had to. It's in the off season. I want to say that the best I came up with was in wee was the best way that I could pronounce it. And I was talking to a guy, and he goes, "What did you just say?" So we got it straightened out right then. But yeah,
we're going through a tough time over here with learning new names like Nico Iamaleava, for instance. That took us a while.
It's a mouthful, dude.
We had Dalton Connect in basketball.
Sure I can say it correctly, but I'm just going to stick with Nico.
That's consensus.
I'm just glad we've not had that one guy on Vol Twitter yet. Yeah. That pulled how they how the Bammers did with Tua, and we're talking about the language barrier. I'm just glad we've not had that come up yet.
Jeez. Yeah, no, I remember that one too. That was just
tough look.
There's a few cringy things that just stick with you, and that was one of them. No, hey, look, that's credit to you guys. You know what I mean? So, if Tennesseans can do it, Alabama, come on, bro.
Oh man, we're pretty educated up here,
Hey,
just kidding.
Look, you're talking to guy from Oklahoma. Like I said, we're 49th in education, brother, but we love football.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right.
Education is important, but football is importanter.
Oh yeah, it's the mostest importanter.
Mostest bestest.
Mostest.
That sounded like I said most asbestos, but I didn't. All right, boys. So it's talked about every week. Turnover ratio. You guys have pretty much broke even on that, haven't you?
Actually, right now we're +8, I believe, is what
+8.
Brenton loves talking about it in every press conference. Let's just watch the post game after we play. After we play this weekend, I guarantee he mentions the turnover margin. That's something that since he's come back has been a big preaching point for him.
See, that's something that I'm going to go ahead and say it. I have a hard time understanding how they throw that out there, like how they put it on their stat line. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
You're 2-1 to the good. That means you're 2-1 to the good.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there reading it, and I'm like, I even wrote it down. I'm like, break even on turnover ratio with a question mark. I was like, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, Britt's a very detail-oriented guy. He knows what he wants, and especially with that defense, and he wants turnovers. He wants extra possessions, and obviously with an offense looking as inept as ours has so far this year, you need those extra possessions. So,
the biggest thing I think that will help Oklahoma this week is if you guys can hold Tennessee to field goals.
I will.
I'd rather give up 3 than 6 any day of the week.
I don't know anybody that would.
Right. But you're playing a team that, can score at a pretty good clip. Mm-hmm. You take 3 if you can get it. That's just the way it is.
Absolutely.
So I gotta ask, what's the feeling out there towards Hype coming back to Norman?
Man, first off, him leaving had to happen. I think it had to happen for him to get where he wants to go, and I think it had to happen for us to get where we needed to go. The first earliest memory I have of Oklahoma football was staying up and watching the national championship with my dad in 2000 and watching Josh Heupel, take Oklahoma to the promised land. So, for me personally, big Josh Heupel fan. Grew up left-handed, played quarterback left-handed in my Pee Wee football days. Josh Heupel was, the icon for me. I wish I could personally say wish nothing but the best for the guy. I love the fact that he's gone to Tennessee and he has picked up the pieces that Butch Jones and Jeremy Pruitt left behind and has carried you guys into greener pastures. Love that for Josh. Absolutely love that for Josh. Hope he gets a standing ovation this Saturday. He deserves it. There's no hard feelings from anybody in our fan base. I can tell you that. We're never going to turn our backs on one of our own national championship winning quarterbacks ever. But when that ball's kicked off, I hope that he has an absolutely fucking miserable day.
Well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that.
No, of course.
I get it.
There may be no hard feelings from Oklahoma towards Josh Heupel, but I'm not so certain that there's not hard feelings going the other way.
There's almost no possible way for there not to be. Absolutely no possible way. Just the brief synopsis. If you guys don't know what the history of Josh Heupel at Oklahoma is he was obviously came from Weber State. Bob and Mike got him on campus. They go 7-5 his first year. They turn around, go 13-0. The next year, win a national championship. He comes on as a graduate assistant after he done work out with the Miami Dolphins. Stays on staff, waits his turn through, what was it? It was Mark Mangino. It was Rocky Long. There was, I want to say it was, he's at Tulsa now. His name's escaping me at the moment. But after him, Josh comes in. He's the offensive coordinator. In everybody's mind, at that point in time, Josh was the head coach in waiting for the Oklahoma Sooners. He was Oklahoma from the word go. He was made for Oklahoma, and Oklahoma was made for him. And then following 2014, obviously, like I said the last time that he went up against Brent Venables' defense, man, we lost 40-6 that game, and everybody in our fan base knew coming off of that Sugar Bowl against Alabama and turning around and going 8-5 the next year and losing in that way in the Russell Athletic Bowl, we had to make changes. We had to make difficult changes, and Josh was unfortunately one of those dominoes to fall. So from going from basically being the next head coach in line at the University of Oklahoma, a blue blood program in college football, definitely on the Mount Rushmore of all-time college football teams, to being fired by your head coach that you got a national championship in his second year at this program. Yeah, man, there's no way in hell Josh isn't going to have y'all ready to play this Saturday. That dude's got a fire under his ass that he's been stowed away for Gosh, it's been 10 guys. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. This guy has been dreaming of this game. I mean, he's going to throw the whole book at us. I mean, he's going to throw the car. He's going to throw the dog. He's going to throw the kids, your grandmama, your grandpappy, the farm, everything that he's got. He wants to win this game more than any game. I guarantee you on y'all schedule. I mean, and the fact that it's at Oklahoma, the place that probably he feels put a fork in his back, put a knife in his back. Oh yeah. He wants this one bad. I know it.
And I think Jordan can attest to this too. Like you can see it when Josh is talking right now, like in his pressers and mid-game interviews with sideline reporters. Like there's something different about him right now.
Yeah.
There's
Oklahoma fans
there's a very quiet confidence about the way he's acting these days, and I like it. It's almost a savage type thing. You know what I mean? I hope it continues. And it's very businesslike this year. Like, it's like the Kent State game. I think year 1, year 2, he just kind of goes out there, does what he wants to do, and calls it a day. No, we could have hung 125 on Kent State if we really, really wanted to. I hate to say that, but we could have. It's just a business-like approach, and that carries over into our guys too this year. It seems like it's fun to watch. It's refreshing to see after Bujo and Jeremy Pruitt, and it's a refreshing change.
Hey, say what you will about Jeremy Pruitt, he did some pretty good recruiting through McDonald's. That's all I've got to say.
He did do some. We got some good players here.
Oh yeah.
From that,
and he still got his ass whooped.
Sure. Yeah. But hey, look, you can be the best recruiter in the world and be a horrible game day coach, and Ed Orgeron will walk so others can run. Okay, but
man,
listen, the McDonald's thing had me. I'm going, bro. Tennessee, come on, man. McDonald's.
That's what I said too. I was like, I at least use Chick-fil-A. You know,
give us something good. I've been to Tennessee. I got cousins that live in Nashville. I know y'all got better food than
we got
some ribs or something, man. I mean,
I don't think I'm still in the camp that I don't know if any of that was true. I think we just used it to get rid of it.
Who knows? It probably wasn't, but man, it's just fun to joke about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course,
like,
of course.
It absolutely
like Oklahoma is. And Barry Switcher's players and cocaine. You know what I mean? Like we all know, there's probably a good possibility there was a little bit of something happening, but we don't know if it was exactly that.
Riding the white pony. All right, boys. So, all right, let's Matt, give us some players to really keep an eye out for this week for the Sooners.
Absolutely. Look, this one's not going to come as a surprise. I'm obviously going to start defensively. I'm going to go 3 guys, 3 impact guys. I'm going to keep it NCAA 14 rules. You got 3 impact players on each side of the ball. Number 1, Grayson Holton. Dude was an absolute train wreck waiting to happen anytime that he got, even with the offensive line against Tulane. And that's a pretty dang good offensive line that Tulane has. He absolutely took over the fourth quarter of that game. 3 sacks, forced fumble recovery, pass breakup. I mean, he did everything. I mean, he took control. And, if he and Jaden Jackson, true freshman starting defensive lineman, can create a little bit of pressure and get those ends, R. Mason Thomas and Ethan Downs freed up, they can get Nico moving using his feet all week. All night, making him uncomfortable, not letting him sit in the pocket and pick us apart. But number 1 again, it's got to be Grayson Holton. He's got to be an absolute destroyer in the middle of that defensive line to try to free up other guys to make plays on the quarterback. 2, again, no surprise, Danny Stutzman. They're going to be keen on him really, really hard. Obviously, he's the type of guy. He's had double-digit tackles, in every single game this season. He recorded his 300th career tackle last week. He's the kind of guy, he's the kind of linebacker you have to game plan for. That is going to open up if he is able to not only be effective while they're keying on him, but also if he's going to be able to open up other players like Kip Lewis, like Kobe McKenzie, to be disruptive and make plays. Kip Lewis is Oklahoma's best kept secret. That guy's an absolute menace. Number 10, look for him. He's going to be playing on I believe he's playing on the left side of that linebacker group over there, and the dude is he's gonna be a star. People are gonna know who Kip Lewis is when his career's over. But finally, last person, going to the safeties, defensive backs. Actually, not going to be Billy Bowman. It's not going to be Robert Spears Jennings that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Des Malone, the transfer from San Diego State, the corner. Last week, he had, I want to say it was 3 targets. He allowed 1 catch for -2 yards. Absolute shutdown guy. He's come in since the Houston game. He's been absolute nails. We don't know the health that Gentry Williams has. Gentry Williams, if we can get him back, is going to be a big player for us. But, we know what we've got in Gentry. Gentry's going to be a shutdown corner. It's all going to hinge on Des Malone and what he's going to be able to do on the other side of that defensive backfield. Trying to cut down, y'all's wide receivers, which is a very talented group of wide receivers. Not a lot of those names that you'll see at like Alabama or Ohio State, but really solid wide receivers. Josh Heupel has always found them. Did it at Oklahoma. He's doing it at Tennessee. He's finding those mid-tier guys that, have a lot of talent, a lot of promise, and, honestly, are going to have a lot of NFL stock by the time that their careers are over. So switching over to the offensive side of the ball, the one thing that I can tell you that we're looking for is just any type of consistency from our offensive line. They haven't been able to stop a nosebleed, a runny nose, or a grandmother crossing the street so far this year. So setting any kind of tone for our running backs, if we can do that and not be one-dimensional, I feel like we have a pretty good shot to be a lot better than throwing for just shy of 200 yards in a game, which has not happened in a long time at Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold is on pace to have the absolute worst season an Oklahoma quarterback has had since Rhett Bomar in 2005 when he played in exactly 10 games. He came in I want to say it was the third game, or he came in the second game in relief of Paul Thompson that year after we got beat by TCU in the home opener, and he threw for just shy of 2,100 yards that year. Right now, Jackson Arnold is on pace for 2,200 yards, and I never thought that I would hear that coming out of my mouth at any point this summer, that we would be on pace to have the worst season a quarterback has had at the University of Oklahoma since 2005, 19 years, almost 20 years. So,
that is surprising.
It's Oklahoma's been synonymous with great quarterback play for a really long time, and this is not on brand for us. It's a little for me. I think it's the biggest red flag, and I think that it points to just how bad that offensive line has been. Then you look at the interception he threw late in the game last week against Tulane. Didn't need to make that throw. He stepped to the side of the guy, got past him. Most guys, more mature quarterbacks would collect themselves, move up in the pocket, look for a guy that's open downfield, maybe scramble, get out of the pocket, throw the ball away. To throw that throw was so discouraging, and I think is just really the signs that, a conversation that I don't think a lot of Oklahoma fans are ready to have yet is Jackson Arnold hasn't shown us, what we think he can be yet. He looked good in the Alamo Bowl, but he also looked really bad. There's not been a lot of consistency. How much of that is it that he's gun shy from hearing all offseason about the turnover problems? Is he holding back? Who knows? He just has not had that gunslinger mentality that he came in here with. And honestly, like I said, that's the thing to me that I think is going to be most detrimental to our season is can he mentally be prepared for a defense that, in Tennessee, like I said, you guys have brought incredible pressure in your front seven so far this season. Is he going to be able to handle that? We had a practice about 2 weeks in the fall camp, created a lot of buzz about how bad that he looked because Brent, Zach Alley was bringing so much pressure on him and trying to make it difficult for him. It was a bad practice. Everybody was talking about it, hitting the panic button. It may not have been too early to hit the panic button. We don't know. I'm holding my reservations on Jackson Arnold until after Tennessee and after Texas. We're going to find out what kind of quarterback he is. But that job may not be completely buttoned down for him if he can't show up in the next 2 out of 3 weeks and play some pretty solid quarterback for us. So,
right.
Lastly, Nick Anderson. I mean, is he going to play or not? He's definitely a big impact guy for us. If he is the missing link that this offense needed, that's going to be a weight off of not only our shoulder, but like I just previously mentioned, it's going to be a lot off of Jackson Arnold's too. He seems really excited that Nick's coming back. He is an absolute problem. A lot of people remember his older brother Rodney from Katy, Texas. Absolutely tore it up with Baker Mayfield for 3 seasons. I'm going to be honest with you. That's really where it's at with us. It comes down to those 3 things on each side of the ball. What can they do? What can they hold up? And, is Jackson Arnold the guy or is he not? Those questions will be answered.
Man, it's gonna be a fun one for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you guys have now replaced the early Florida week.
Yeah.
With it. But
I guarantee you one thing is I don't know how this game is going to go this Saturday, but I know we're going to be a lot more competitive than Florida is.
Yeah, Florida's pretty god awful this year so far.
What's crazy about that is they'll still beat us.
Yeah.
They'll find the
best game all year.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They'll go 1-11, and we'll be there.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Florida State is walking so Florida can run right now because if Florida State was playing like they were supposed to be playing, I guarantee you Billy Napier is probably in the unemployment line right now.
How awful is that game going to be to watch?
You remember the way I said earlier about watching 2 guys with no legs race? It's going to be something along those lines, I guarantee you.
Oh, man. I love it. Personally, it's like we're going to see them battling for who goes 4-6, 3-9 at the end of the year.
You remember that Apple Cup, Washington State in like 2000 and oh gosh, what was that? It was like 2006, 2007, where neither one of them had won a game.
Yes.
They were like, I think Washington State. It was either Washington or I'm pretty sure it was Washington State was like 1-10, and Washington was like 0-11 or something like that.
And they both played their asses off. Just it's wild, man.
It's one of the worst games I've ever watched. Just 2 of the worst teams I've ever seen play against each other. I feel like it's going to be a reenactment of that, except for
what? Version. I'll one up you, Swanny. I know you remember this game. Miss State and Auburn, 3-2 final. God, it was like watching my buddies at the bar. Nobody could score.
That was Tommy Tuberville, wasn't it? And that was like I want to say
it's Sylvester Croom, I think.
Yeah, I was either going to say that was the end of Sylvester Croom being there or the beginning of Dan Mullen.
It would have had to have been Croom.
It was something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was something one way or the other. All right, fellas. Hey, he's fine. He's fine. I got 2 myself. We just got a Great Dane pup, and he is a hell on wheels.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the Aussie loves my girlfriend, as you can tell. So
absolutely.
There you go.
So we'll run through these last 2 real quick. Implications for this game for Oklahoma. What are the implications for you guys?
Implications for us, obviously. We win this game. I can go ahead and tell you I feel a lot better about that Texas game. The big thing is for me, like I said, we got to see Jackson Arnold do something positive. So this is setting the tone for the rest of the year. I obviously coming into this year felt really good about our chances. Being an Oklahoma fan, Oklahoma, we take second place to nobody, and we have high expectations every year. We expect to be in the conversation for the national championship, if not in the national championship. So, for us, you play these big games. You come to Oklahoma to play these kind of games. This is going to make or break your season. It's going to make or break your season. I think we could go. I think we go 10-2. I think we can go 11-1. I think that we could go 4-8 if this game doesn't go the right way. These are just those kind of games that they can break you if they get out of hand. And the way you guys have played so far, it could very easily get out of hand. The way that y'all's offense, you had to tell me, ask me which team I had more confidence in offensively, it's not us. It's not us. So our defense is great. I'll tell you right now, +8 in the turnover margin. I can tell you right now, we got like 5 or 6 guys that are going to be NFL guys on that defense right now. You can stop people all night, but if you can't score, you're not going to win a football game. So
that's true.
Implication.
Very true.
The rest of the season. I mean, this is everything right here for us. It's at home for us. So anytime that you get a big game like this, it's either going to rally you or you're going to go in, drop an egg, and it can destroy you. I've seen it happen to Texas with BYU. I mean, BYU went in and won 40-0 one year at DKR. Guess how that season went? It went 5-7. So it's a huge game. So
I have we've seen it here with the Florida game. I mean, we come in. I can't tell you how many times we've had the better team on paper, and Florida just absolutely beats us like we owe them money.
At least 5. At least 5 times.
Yeah, at least. I would say for Tennessee, I don't think this one would define the rest of the season because we've still got Bama, Georgia, all those guys on the schedule. But I would say that it'll keep the Josh Heupel can't win big games on the road narrative alive and well.
Oh yeah,
he's got an opportunity to put that one to bed with this one. So I would say that's our biggest implication as far as that goes. If we lose, it's going to suck, but I'll be the first one to say, hey, we lost, good game. Bring on the Hogs. So
I'm not. I'll be pissed at least until Monday. But I mean, it's a big game for both programs, really. Like you guys, you're gonna see if those early season woes are something you need to worry about down the road. And then us, if is what we've done to this point real? Mm-hmm. What's our scoring margin? Like 160 to 10?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, we've not given up an offensive touchdown yet.
Yeah.
We haven't given up an offensive touchdown going back to Iowa last year, which Iowa they couldn't beat their own meat on offense, But still,
was Vanderbilt the last team to score on us?
They very well might have been.
I mean,
letting Vanderbilt score, that's crazy.
You gotta put a 4-game run with no touchdown scored on you up there with what Robert Nealon did in like the 30s, where nobody scored on us.
Listen,
it's a different era.
Impressive. It's impressive no matter who you are. So,
it's a different. I'm fucking around.
Yeah, hey, look, shutting anybody out is difficult, but 4 times in a row, that's pretty good.
Hard. That's hard to do. So
we ain't played nobody, Paul.
They ain't played nobody, Paul. Last but not least, score predictions. Matt, we'll let you go first, brother.
You're gonna love this.
I bet we are.
24-17 Oklahoma.
Damn.
Okay. This is an ACC
I got
game.
a lot of faith in I got a lot of faith in our defense, man. I got a lot of faith in our defense.
It's gonna be the best defense we faced all year. So I would say, you've got good reason to give that prediction. I mean, honestly, you do.
Yeah.
We have trouble winning on the road.
Too, so
Nico, this is Nico's first true road game.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of reason to think it could go that way. Swanny, what you got, brother?
Listen, hey,
I have a lot of faith in your defense too. I have a lot of faith in Oklahoma's defense as well, and that's why I think they'll hold us to 49, and we'll give up 20. 49-20.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Jordan will tell you I'm the more negative of the two of us as far as Vol fans.
Oh,
it's
man, this guy's about to dump 100-0 on me, isn't he?
Me? No.
He is just more positive. Like, we're always in it. Like, and I'm always the first to be done with a coach or a quarterback or whatever.
Watching y'all play this season, I completely understand why you feel that way.
There's been a switch flipped in me. The way you guys have looked, Arkansas looked this last weekend. Florida sucks.
Yeah.
Bama hasn't looked great. Georgia Saturday against Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling some kind of way, man.
No, yeah,
I'm ready for that bubble to be burst, but I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah. Hey, look, just don't beat us and lose to Arkansas. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh. That would be the most Tennessee thing ever.
That would be ugly.
I'm going to go. Matt, you had something to say just a second ago, buddy, and I think I cut you off.
Listen, all I have to say is I was at Neyland in 2015, and I'm going to go ahead and say y'all can bring it as a fan base. And, the big thing with Oklahoma is, you look at the outset, you hear a lot of things about Oklahoma, and when we were in the Big 12, and obviously after Texas A&M, Missouri, Nebraska, Colorado left, it changed the landscape of college football big time. There weren't as many big games that we were having every single week. The fan base kind of died down a little bit because of that. Nobody wants to pay $50 to go watch Oklahoma play against Iowa State. Nobody wants to go pay $40 to go watch Oklahoma play Kansas when Kansas is in probably the worst stretch in their program's history. A lot of programs' histories. But man, I'm telling you, when the game is a nationally broadcast game, when you're talking about playing against Texas Tech at home when you're number 5 and number 2, when you're talking about playing against a TCU when you're coming off of a year where you come right down to the wire after Baker Mayfield gets knocked out. I'm going to tell you right now, man, Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium can light it up when we've got a good competition in town. That game we played you guys in 2014, the place was rocking. The house was rocking, man. Notre Dame in 2011 didn't end the way we wanted it to, but the fans brought it. Ohio State, again, didn't end the way we wanted it to, but the fans brought it. Oklahoma Memorial Stadium can be an absolute hell on earth place to play when the fans are up and they're ready for the competition that's coming to town. And when you guys come to town, it's not going to be quiet. It's not going to be, probably like a lot of the rumors that you've heard about Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. It's not going to be quiet. It's probably not going to be like Neyland, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be something to snuff at. It can be a rowdy and rambunctious environment, and I've seen it. I saw it in Bedlam in 2020. What was that? 2023 was Brent's first year when we came out and jumped on Oklahoma State, 28-0. I don't think I've ever heard that stadium so loud in my life. I could not hear. I had a headache the next day. My throat was sore. My ears hurt. I'm telling you, it was an exhausting environment to be in. But when the environment's right, like it's going to be this weekend, it can be a tough place to play in. And with a freshman quarterback and not so friendly confines, weird stuff happens. And Nico's we're going to find out who Nico is this weekend for sure. I'll tell you that much. What kind of moxie he has, what kind of grit he's got, and what kind of skill he's got. Y'all are going to learn a lot about your quarterback this weekend.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I think
I don't think Jordan or I either one think that it's going to suck or that it's going to be not going to be loud there.
Okay. No, I have no doubt you guys will bring it. There's too many good storylines for this game. There's a pass there. This has got all the game. This game has got all the makings, honestly, of early contender for game of the year. I think.
Oh yeah. 100%. Easily the best game so far in my personal opinion.
Yes, we're all a little biased, but I think yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna hold steady with my prediction on the preseason show. I'm gonna say 38-34 Vols, but it will not in the least bit surprise me if it's the other way around. Will not. I absolutely agree with everything you said though, as far as Nico goes. This is his first true road game. I don't care about the Citrus Bowl. I don't care about Duke's Mayo, whatever, against NC State. He's had 2 cupcakes at home. I know that everybody says that the man is cool as a cucumber. We'll find out. Because he's going to have to be Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, though, man, me and Swanny appreciate you jumping on with us. We've had a blast talking to you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. Y'all are great. I wouldn't have come on here if I didn't think that you guys weren't, it's pretty smart dudes. You know what I mean? I feel like you guys got a lot going on. I've watched a couple of your things. Y'all are real entertaining, and I wouldn't have done it if I thought otherwise. So,
well, that shows lack of judgment on your part.
Hey, look, hey, man. I never said I was perfect, but we all make mistakes.
But hey, man, we appreciate you jumping on with us, and you're welcome to jump back on with us next week and recap if you'd like.
Hey, man, I'm down for whatever. Y'all just let me know what you need.
Unless you guys win.
All right, man.
Hey, I'll super be up for it then. I'll move my schedule around.
Hey, win or lose for us. You're welcome back on with us next week to recap.
Appreciate it.
We're going to end this one how we always end it though, with a big go damn Vols.
Go Vols.
Boomer.